Hey, what's going on? Welcome to a new episode of Photography Ideas You Can Try at Home. Today it's all about Dandelion clocks. But this video is very special because I'm not doing it alone. I'm gonna challenge myself with Stefan and Wolfgang.
Hi Jens!
Two very creative, very professional photographers. We wanna know who is able to take the most creative image just with the Dandelion clock. Let's go! For this image we need a macro lens, otherwise you can use those extension tubes which are about €5. Of course, some Dandelion clocks, milk, putty and a flash diffuser for our flash. If you want to know how I built this flash diffuser, I got a video on my YouTube channel which I really do not recommend because it's full of bad jokes and meme. Yeah, it's really pretty horrible. I will make a new video soon. Can we just please start with the footage? To grab and position the Dandelion clock, I use tweezers. Let's take a closer look on the main subject of our video today, in the macro perspective. The footage you see right now was taken with a 90mm macro lens at 1:1 magnification and just played a little bit around with the focus. To fix the Dandelion clock on the plate, I used some putty. Maybe you're asking yourself why I just told you that I used milk for my image. I was thinking of getting a creamy, dreamy, unrealistic looking background for the Dandelion clock. Perfect, let's do some tests. For my first image I used a flash diffuser and aperture of f9 ISO 100. But the good news is the best image I'm going to show you today in this video is taken without the flash diffuser. Actually, there's really no need to build a flash diffuser for the images I'm going to show you today. Pretty boring. But I must say, when I reviewed the images, it was probably kind of stupid because the contrast was very low. Let's change the setup a little bit. To make it a little bit more interesting, I decided to add some water droplets. Therefore I used a pump spray. And now I just had to adjust the focus again and change the aperture from 2.8 back to f9. Yeah, that looks much better. I think we're getting closer. But I think there's still a little bit room for improvement. So let's add a big water droplet with a needle. Okay, I really like it. I give it a 7 out of 10, but just because I don't like the background. The background is still pretty boring, so let's change that. For the next image we just need a bowl with water. Now it's getting pretty cool because I have lowered the distance between the Dandelion clock and the surface of the water. Now we're able to get a pretty cool reflection. And yeah, because of that it is also pretty difficult to place a water droplet on the center of the Dandelion clock, but eventually it worked. This looks pretty interesting. Please tell me that you're also seeing a damselfly. That's so cool. But that's not the final image because we need to fix the background. We just lost that last drop because it got into touch with the surface. So I have to add another one. It's a try and error, so please be patient because it really will be worth it. But here the Dandelion clock becomes too wet and I had to replace it. Oh, by the way, I mentioned that I used putty to place the Dandelion clock in the water bowl. I'm not sure if you can see it here, but I've built a small tower out of putty and put the Dandelion clock on top, which worked pretty good. Okay, I've prepared a new one. Now I have to place it at almost the same position. Oh, now we have some nice reflections. Let's see if I can add a water drop here. Nice. And now we just have to fix the background. I have just put a lemon behind the water drop. Let's see what this looks like. Let's experiment a little bit with just illuminating the water drop or the lemon or both. Here I just illuminated the Dandelion clock with a small torch, but then the putty becomes visible and we have to fix this. On this image I changed the direction of light a little bit and the putty becomes blurred and the background is a little bit brighter. And that is almost the image I was looking for. I illuminated the background and the putty disappears completely. Magic! Okay, maybe it becomes more clear when we take a look on this video. Here just the Dandelion clock is illuminated and the image is pretty horrible. So we have to set the focus of our light to the background and just a little bit light on the Dandelion clock. Okay, now let's replace the lemon with an orange. I know, that's pretty creative. You're probably wondering, this guy is exchanging a lemon with an orange. They are basically the same, right? And the reason is because I don't have any other fancy background here, no big flowers for example, and I just want to show you that even a small change of the distance between subject and background and the size of the background can really offer some new perspectives to your image. Like here for example, I've added some water droplets to the orange and this created some nice bokeh in the background. I wouldn't say that this completely blew me away, but hey, you change something, you get a new result, and that's the fun part about photography, right? And now I'm really curious about what Wolfgang and Stefan did with their Dandelion clocks. Let's take a look on their work. Okay, as you can see, it got a little bit late and I have just received the video of Wolfgang. I have not seen it yet and I'm really curious about how he dealt with the Dandelion topic.
I'm going to shoot a dandelion seed in flight, but I'm the lazy guy. I'm not even going to leave the house. I'm going to shoot everything indoors and show you how.
I really like his black and clean background, not as mine here.
I'm going to use 4 equally sized glasses, and on top of that I'm going to place a glass plate. Make sure that glass plate is clean, otherwise you would have to do a lot of work in Photoshop and I promise you, you don't want that. And the next thing I'm going to need is a tablet. I went through our archives and I chose a few images.
Oh yeah, he's doing the tablet stuff again, but that's a pretty good idea when you don't have a great background.
I'm going to put the tablet with an image under the glass plate and, you guessed it, I'm going to put a dandelion seed onto the glass plate. And now it's time to set the camera. I'm going to put the tripod.
What? No tripod hack? What if you don't have a tripod, Wolfgang? Normally he offers you a cover solution when you don't have gear.
Over the glass plate, turn on the camera and set it to live view. And I'm going to manually focus on the dandelion seed. You can zoom in to help with focus. Like that. Then I'm going to set the exposure. I'm going to use a bigger f-stop to get more depth of focus. And I need to compensate that with a lower shutter speed. I will leave ISO at 100 because we have enough light. What I also like to do when photographing things like that is set the drive mode of the camera to 2-second self-timer. The reason is, even though I have a very sturdy tripod, I could possibly create camera shake by touching the camera while I take the image. So 2-second self-timer is just fine. And here is our first image.
That's a pretty good idea. I hope he's fixing the light because the Dandelion clock is completely black, which does not look very natural from me.
I'd say that looks pretty cool already, but we're not going to stop there. What I don't like is that it's kind of a backlit image. So we need to do something to change that. And I'm going to use the flashlight of my smartphone. So for the next shots, I'm going to switch off the lights in the room and light the dandelion seed with my smartphone.
Kind of similar to my lighting setup using the torch here.
That looks a lot better already, but not good enough for my taste. We need more light on the dandelion. So what can we do? I'm going to extend the shutter speed and give it another try. Now the image is too bright, which is of course not what we want. To change that, I'm going to lower the brightness of my tablet display.
I was brightening up the orange, he's darkening the tablet.
And take the next image. I love it, but let's choose a different background. Here's the other one I prepared. That's pretty close where I was hoping to get. The dandelion isn't placed that well. Let me give you a tip. If you use a smaller image and place it onto a white background, you can easily resize it and put it wherever you want it to be. That's even more important when you use a macro lens instead of a kit lens. And the good thing is, the resolution doesn't matter because it's blurred anyway. Now that looks really cool. And that's my contribution to our challenge, guys. I hope you like it.
Okay. I think that's a great idea, that's a great image. Maybe I just like my image a little bit better. What do you think? I really like how he's doing his videos. He always got a couple of good tips and very clean and nice looking setup. That's it for the first part of this video. If you like this kind of content, you should really visit Wolfgang and Stefan's YouTube channel because they are doing a lot of photography tips and ideas videos. In the next couple of days, I will upload the second part with Stefan's photography. I really hope that I could give you a little bit inspiration for your next photography project, especially because the Dandelion clocks are just everywhere. Stay healthy and hopefully see you in the next part.
That was fun. See you next time, guys.